Chapter 5, System Implementation. In Chapter 4, the system development lifecycle was introduced and the first two stages were discussed. In this chapter, the last two stages, implementation and maintenance and evaluation, will be covered. System implementation is the process of preparing and launching the information system that has been selected for use. The system selection process continues until the IS is in use and has been evaluated. Steps included in the implementation process are as follows: site and space preparation, user preparation, installing hardware and software, programming and customization, user configurations and settings, screen design, re-engineering processes, policy and procedure development and documentation, testing plan, training, conversion, go live, and system evaluation. Site preparation requires making any needed changes to the physical location where the workstations, printers, or other hardware will be installed. The data center where computers will run the IS must be completed first because the nursing units and other departments will not use the IS until go live. Failure to properly prepare the site and infrastructure will result in delays in the installation of hardware and software, which will in turn delay the entire implementation plan of the system. User preparation involves providing the users with enough information about the IS being implemented so that they can be prepared both psychologically and through training to use it. This is part of the change management process. Many people fear computers when new information systems are installed. Therefore, these fears must be addressed. Management must be open and honest with users regarding expectations, downsizing, changes in job descriptions, and other concerns. This information must be accurate. Otherwise, users will lose trust in the manager's word. Sometimes a new system is promoted so intensely that users expect more than the information system can provide. These unrealistic expectations lead to disappointment and, in turn, a lack of support from the users. There should be as many users involved in the information system selection and implementation as possible in order to obtain their support. Once the hardware arrives, it will need to be set up and installed in the data center. Computers will also need to be installed in the nursing units, training rooms, and other locations according to the project plan. The printers, network scanners, and other hardware will also need to be installed. Software will have to be installed on all authorized computers prior to implementation. Programming may or may not be required depending on the type of IS, the complexity of the IS, and whether the healthcare facility is purchasing the IS or programming one themselves. If the healthcare facility is converting data from another IS, computer programming will have to be done to perform data conversions. Data conversion is the process whereby data are copied from the existing IS, manipulated into the format required by the new IS, and entered into the new IS. This mapping from one format to another is critical. The healthcare facility may want to have some changes made to the software to better meet its needs. There are reasons why the healthcare facility should not customize the software beyond what is already built into the IS by the vendor. Most computer software purchased by healthcare facilities generally provides some flexibility in the implementation of the IS. This flexibility is allowed through setting configuration. Setting configuration is the entry of the desired behaviors of the information system into tables or setting fields. The project team sets up the specifications by filling in tables and other fields with the desired setup. They will also be able to update tables that provide their reimbursement rates, tax identification number, national provider identifier, or other appropriate values. It can take minutes or months to get all the specifications and tables updated, depending on the complexity of the specifications in the information system. The information system may allow the healthcare facility to make changes to the computer screen so that it works the best for the healthcare facility. Screen design means developing screens of an IS to meet the needs of the user and to promote job efficiency. Reasons why the healthcare facility may want to change the computer screen include the following. There's no single screen contains the data needed to make data entry or viewing efficient. The vendor's screen do not have data elements in logical order for the workflow of users. The existing screens are too cluttered for the user's preference. And changing the screen will improve the process workflows. There are rules when designing screens. The fields should be in a logical sequence to facilitate data entry. The title of the screen should be descriptive of the data contained on the screen. The flow of data entry should be from left to right and top to bottom. Screens, like paper forms, should have a title and a control number to manage the screen. Screens should be simple to use and have standardized terminology across screens to facilitate data entry, training, and data quality. A standardized look and feel for the screen includes the same colors, location of key data elements such as patient name, and same location and terminology for key buttons such as next screen. Color, blinking, and reverse video can be used to draw the user's attention to important data such as allergies. A graphical user interface, or GUI, is a term used to describe the interaction of users and the computer, whereby the user clicks on icons, menus, and other tools. These icons are shown on a toolbar. Icons provide shortcuts to functionality within the system, along with buttons and menus, allowing the user to command the software to perform specific tasks. The HIM professional must work with the health information technology professionals to ensure the screens in the IS are designed to support quality data entry. One of the ways this can be done is through required fields. A required field does not allow the user to proceed until it is completed. Re-engineering processes. Re-engineering is evaluating the way the healthcare facility does business in order to improve efficiency. The implementation of a new information system is a perfect time to critique the tasks performed to try and improve efficiency, costs, and effectiveness. The healthcare facility cannot implement an IS and expect the work processes to remain the same. The healthcare facility will need to change procedures, update the policy and procedure manual, change workflow, and eliminate unnecessary tasks, and perhaps add new tasks. All components of the information system will need testing before the go live. Testing helps the implementation team identify any problems with the system so they can be corrected. This is a cyclical process, so the team will test the information system, identify problems, fix problems, and test the system. Many types of testing must be performed in preparation for an IS implementation. The types of testing include the following: interface, integration, application, documentation, conversion, training, volume, parallel, acceptance. The testing plan describes the testing to be performed. It is a document that covers areas such as what is to be tested, who will be involved in the testing, dates of testing, documentation of testing results, and types of testing. The testing must continue until all problems have been fixed. The testing must include the documentation created for use with the IS as well. The testing plan should create a realistic test environment, which is an exact duplicate of the IS in use, excluding data. The trouble ticket is a form that is used to give specific information on problems encountered. The information provided may include the screen where the problem occurred, function being performed, error message received, data entered, report with incorrect data, or other problems encountered. Training is crucial to the success of the implementation process. There needs to be a well-designed training plan that addresses the timing and methods used to train the users. Communicating with employees and keeping them informed of changes, impact, and expectations of their position will help prepare them for training. The learning curve is different with each employee. Learning ability is impacted by age, maturity level, and experience. People have different preferred learning styles, for example, auditory, visual, and so forth. Because of these factors, instructors should use a variety of methods that will accommodate all learning styles. Instructors and trainers should also have a basic understanding of adult learning principles. Some key adult learning principles are: adults like being responsible for their own decisions. Adults are experienced. Adults need to know why. Adults need to see relevance. The adult needs to be ready to learn. And finally, the learner has to be motivated to learn. There should be someone on the project team who is responsible for planning the complete training process. This trainer has a wide range of responsibilities, including developing objectives, developing the training plan, and implementing the training. The trainer should also be a super user or expert on the new information system. The project team should create a training schedule that allows everyone who needs training to participate. The schedule should include sessions for all work shifts, including day, evening, night, and weekend shifts. The training plan should contain learning objectives. It should also outline the agenda, address the content that will be covered, such as the rollout schedule, policies and procedures, confidentiality, and security. When planning content, trainers need to determine each trainee's level of computer literacy before deciding what training is needed. Not all users need the same training, so the training will be designed in modules based on the areas of content. Train the trainer is a method of training certain individuals who, in turn, will be responsible for training others on a task or skill such as how to use the new IS. As previously mentioned, these people are generally called super users. Evaluating the training, trainers must be evaluated on their delivery, impact, and knowledge. The following 4 outcomes of training should be critiqued: the reaction, learning, behavior, and results. Evaluation results should be used to improve the quality and method of training where needed, as there is always room for improvement. Additional and ongoing training. Training does not end with the go live of the IS. When significant changes are made, training may be needed to update and prepare users for the changes. Also, existing employees may need additional training to learn advanced capabilities, or to reinforce what they have already learned, or to acquire new skills. Computer-aided instructions, or CAI, is a software program designed to use multimedia and interactive technology to teach a topic. The benefit of CAI is that learners are able to work at their own pace and on their own schedule. The downside is the startup costs and the amount of time required to develop the training. Documentation of all training provided is critical. Attendees should sign into each training session to provide proof of attendance for both employees and employers' benefit. If a competency test is given, documentation of the results should be maintained. Copies of all training materials and objectives for the training also should be retained. Converting data. In an IS implementation, conversion is transferring data from one IS to another while simultaneously making any necessary changes in format or content. A conversion is more difficult than it sounds because systems frequently store data very differently. Or a healthcare facility may be making changes to how it wants data to be collected. The project team has to determine how much data are being converted and what data fields will need to be converted from one format to another. The amount of data transferred is a decision that must be made by the healthcare facility. The decision will be influenced by the type of IS, laws and regulations, whether or not the old IS will remain operational, and other issues. Once the IS is ready for use and the healthcare facility is ready for the IS, the data conversion plan must be implemented to move the existing data into the new system in the appropriate format. Go live strategy generally refers to how an application will be implemented throughout a healthcare facility, such as departmental sequencing. There are 3 types of go live strategies: phased, pilot, and big bang. There are 2 turnover strategies: straight turnover and parallel processing. Planning for go live. Whichever method is chosen, planning is critical because IS implementation cannot interfere with patient care. Certain steps should be taken no matter which plan is selected. There should be a member of the project team in every unit or department when the IS goes live. These project team members should be highly visible to one another. For example, they could wear matching t-shirts. Trainers also play an important role, not only in training, but also during go live, which means they are a key part of the implementation presence throughout the healthcare facility. Initially, someone must be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to assist users. Generally, this intensive support is only needed for a few days. There should be a help desk that users can call help when help is needed. After the new IS is implemented and functioning properly, the project team will need to evaluate how well the implementation went. System evaluation is how the healthcare facility determines whether or not the IS functions as expected. The project team needs to learn what did and did not work during the implementation process and determine how they can improve the next implementation. After a predetermined time period, the project team will need to determine if the healthcare facility has realized all expected benefits and all of the goals that were established during the planning and analysis phase. In the immediate support and evaluation period, problems may be found that were not revealed during the system's testing and will need to be resolved. Changes may be needed to correct the problems and more testing will be done. Even after the system is working well, periodic updates will ensure that the IS is current. There will also be routine maintenance and upgrades, such as backing up data, increasing storage capacity, and upgrading hardware and software.